Hey, what's going on, everybody? We got the Wednesday edition here of the Payoff Pitch. I'm, of course, Jason, and he's, of course, the Hockey Squirrel. And we're brought to you every single day by the BetUS Sportsbook. Go ahead and check them out. There's a link down in this video description where you can hop on over to their site and check out just how great they are on your own. We highly encourage you to do that. Coming off a long layoff, obviously, with the holidays and what good, but you know what? It feels really good to be sitting back here with you guys. Nice full slate of baseball today. Look forward to talking through the games and cashing some bets with you guys a little bit later on. Let's get Squirrel's opening thoughts here in the first inning called Quick Hits. What's going on this morning, Squirrel?
Hey man, not too much. Still haven't had my coffee, but I'm feeling pretty awake, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I go on 7-4 over the weekend, I guess. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We're on Wednesday already. Holy
I
cow!
know.
Time is absolutely flying. 4th of July weekend, not too bad. Pretty low key. I didn't do anything extravagant. But yeah, looking like a pretty fun slate today on the baseball board, and I've been meaning to get back out to the ballpark too. I don't know. Have you been to the ballpark much this year at all? Have you
I
made it
mean,
at all?
I haven't been to a game yet. It's
Come
only a
on,
matter of
man.
time.
Might have to come on down to Chicago and we'll go to a Sox game or something, huh?
Yeah, I think we should definitely make that happen.
Let's do it. Yeah. Well,
There is a
what do
nice slate
we?
today, like you said, coming off a good 4th of July, long weekend. There is a really nice slate. I haven't hit a baseball bet all week, to be honest. I'm over two on Monday, over three on Tuesday, but things are going to turn around because I already
Yeah.
won a Wimbledon bet this morning, a good plus money bet. So hopefully that goes ahead and turns the tide. We already got the comment section up, so let us know what you guys got going on today. Let us know what some of your best bets, some of your leans are as we go through these games. As always, we'll talk about all of them. So good morning, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us. Let's jump right on into it. Let's go right to that second inning. We call it around the bases. We'll each talk about a couple of games and give you guys a bet, of course. Let's go ahead and see what Squirrel wants to talk about here in around the bases.
I think my favorite game of the day, I'm going to talk about right off the bat. No pun intended, kind of. I mean, it's baseball related, but Toronto and Oakland. Now, we saw yesterday, I had Toronto yesterday on the run line and was my only loss of the day. They got hammered right off the bat. 2 runs they give up, but they came back 2-2, and then all of a sudden it's 5-3, and the game ended there at 8. But the Toronto pitching, the Toronto bullpen has been struggling, as we know. You have MLB batters against subpar pitching. We put Jose Barrios on the mound today, and he will go against Caprillion. Neither guy has been good. The overs have been flying in both of their games. Now you put them against each other with some very strong bats of Toronto. You have Kirk, who's absolutely ridiculous. Springer's big guy. And then you have the obvious duo of Bichette, Vlad Guerrero Jr. I see this one going way over. The line is starting to gravitate from 8 to that 8.5. There is still a stale line out there at a major book that you can find at 8 at -115, which is where I went ahead and grabbed it for the protection of getting the push. So you don't have to, need 9. I mean, you need 9 to win, but at least you have the protection of pushing for just a very small amount of juice. But if you go and take a look at Barrios and Caprillion's over numbers, they are scary bad. We're looking at 12-3 for Barrios, I think, and 7-2 on the over unders for Caprillion. So over 8, -115 in Toronto and Oakland.
Yeah, I love that play right there. Even Athletics offense has been ticking up, and you've obviously been seeing it here in this series as they've been able to win the first two games and probably hurt a lot of people. I know they hurt me on Monday, so I like that pick. I'm more than likely going to add something to my card in this game. I really like the F5 over. I like the full game over. I like the F5 over just as my strategy, and then also like the Blue Jays F5 team total. So let's kind of see how this afternoon goes for us. I'm going to have a few bets that actually start before that with some NRFI action. I think you're onto something there, so I'm going to be looking to add that. Let me go ahead and switch the conversation over to the Cubs and Brewers and sneak in a pitching prop here because I like Adrian Sampson. There, the Chicago Cubs to say under 15.5 outs recorded. Gave this one out at -139 earlier. It's now -195. So hopefully you guys are following me on Twitter because that's quite the difference, right? I think now it's more of a parlay piece. But again, if you got it earlier with me on Twitter, it's -139. It's cashed in 2 of his 3 starts. I'm really liking what the Brewers are doing right now versus right-handed pitching. They got the seventh best batting average, fifth in on-base percentage, and they're first in slugging. That power, I think, is really going to chase Sampson earlier on this game. What have the Brewers been doing a lot this season? They've been striking out. Well, now they have the ninth best strikeout percentage over the last 10 days. I think that is really huge, and it just kind of goes in line with them having a good batting average, having an on-base percentage. They're just in a nice uptick right now versus right-handed pitching. And you know what they do both best in Major League, which is really going to chase Sampson earlier? They're number one in pitches per plate appearance. Nobody's taking more pitches per plate appearance at 4.07 than these Milwaukee Brewers. So just a lot hot offense, a guy that can't really get pitch deep into games, get into that sixth inning. The only risk here is with Corbin Burnes on the mound, and I project the Brewers actually hit Sampson hard. I kind of gave you those numbers on why I think they can do it versus right-handed pitching. There is a risk, I think a small risk, that maybe the Brewers' lead is so big that they just leave Sampson out there just to eat up innings, right? They've waved the white flag. They've got Burnes on the mound. They're not going to win this game. They just let him pitch the sixth inning just to be an inning eater. So that's a slight risk, but I think at minus 139, there's a lot of justification to think that he can't go over 15.5 out, so I'll bet it accordingly at minus 139. What's another game for you, Squirrel?
Another game I'm looking at, and I'm going to stick on the trend here of the overs. And a game I was looking at yesterday taking was terrible pitching in the Texas Rangers and the Baltimore Orioles. I think it was Austin Voth and somebody else with Spencer Howard, was it? With like a 12 ERA or something. We get more terrible pitching, and that game flew over. There was like 20 runs in that game, I think, pretty close to it. You get Glenn Otto and a horrible Spencer Watkins, which I think you've even talked about and faded at a few points on the Baltimore Orioles. Again, this is just that, and really what I've dove into more of this year is horrible pitching against middle-of-the-road batting. This is not top-tier elite offense, but when you put pitchers on the mound like this that are going to just be throwing meatballs at these guys, they're going to get launched. And I would expect over 10 runs here again today at Camden Yards. It's just pretty much predicated all on the pitching, and as it would have been yesterday, I think you get a fairly similar result with what's being offered today.
I tell you what, Squirrel, another bet that I absolutely like. I think you're finding some good spots. You mentioned the Orioles maybe not being a top-tier offense, but being middle of the pack. They've been bottom of the pack versus right-handers. They've had a nice surge up recently versus right-handers, so I really like that you've given out that over in that game. That's another bet I like. I'm going to switch the conversation over to the Nationals versus Phillies and target this Nationals F5 team total over 1.5 runs at plus 125. Look, Aaron Nola is on the mound there for the Phillies, and I know that's going to give people a lot of pause in making this bet, and he's obviously good. He's damn good. So I understand that hesitation, but the Nationals have been good. They're really good right now versus right-handers, fourth in batting average, second in on-base percentage, 13th in slugging, sixth in on-base per slugging, third in K percentage. They continue to remain one of the best teams in not striking out, and they're first in walks. We see that time and time again, that they're really good in their plate discipline and drawing walks. Again, Nola is good, but Nola faced these guys 3 starts ago. He was absolutely dynamite in those three starts ago against the Nationals. Went 8 innings and gave up 0 runs and 4 hits. Why do I think he can't reproduce that? Besides that, it's a quick turnaround facing the same team. He struggled in 2001 versus the Nationals. 4 innings pitched, 6 runs. 5 innings pitched, 5 runs. He's coming off a start in which the Braves were able to cash this, so maybe he's not quite pitching his best right now. The Nationals have absolutely had his number, last season. I'm looking forward to some regression, right? We always talk about regression. This is a team that's had his number well. If you look at batting averages on Swish Analytics, there's guys that hit Nola really hard. Okay, tip the cap to him. He had a good start, 3 starts against these Nationals. I'm looking for some regression at only needing 2 runs, and you're giving me plus 125. I'm backing those Nationals today in their F5 team total up over 1.5 runs. All right, we've talked long enough. Let's go ahead and shut up and give these guys some pitching props. You got anybody on the mound today?
Yeah, I'll start off with my lesser of the 2 favorite, I guess. But do you ever find a newer pitcher, or maybe a pitcher that's coming off of a bad outing, and it seems like they're kind of getting disrespected with the line? You know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah.
I found that I feel like in Graham Ashcraft today of the Cincinnati Reds, the starting pitcher, I really like him. I like his stuff, and he got absolutely bulldozed by the Cubs in his last game. I think like 7 hits, 7 runs, or something. But the strikeout line we get today is only over under 3.5, and you only have to pay -110 to go over 3.5 strikeouts against the Mets. The Reds are at home, and he's at least hit the line more than I would expect this to be set. I mean, I think maybe 4.5 would be a little bit more fair. I think he gets 4 strikeouts against the Mets, who are on the road. Not that they're the highest of strikeout teams per se, but the kid's got some really, really strong stuff, in his pitch arsenal.
All right, let's hope he can get over that strikeout total and give you a good cash. Speaking of cash, what's that? What's that? Is that Mitch Keller pitching today? We got our cash cow. Mitch Keller's on the mound. You got to ring the cash register for that guy. Oh, yeah. Let's get in the bet on our guy, Mitch Keller. Let's go ahead and run back last week's winner. Over 2.5 earned runs at -130 is how I want to target Mitch Keller. I was scared of his strikeout prop. I thought they've got the number bang on. Really scared of his hit number because he can draw walks, and the Yankees are really good at drawing walks. I know 4.5 is the number we normally target for hits allowed, but don't be scared if his hits allowed are cut into by the Yankees drawing walks. But what won't be cut into is that he's going to be giving up runs. The Yankees are struggling. I always talk about what have you been doing recently. The Yankees are flat out struggling. But here he comes. Here comes the cash cow, Mr. Get Right, and that's what an offense needs to see is Mitch Keller. So I'm going to take a struggling Yankees offense up against the guy that we just push the right buttons and just get cashes left and right against this guy. So, yeah, run me back last week's winner of over 2.5 earned runs at -130. And don't even have to think twice about the cash cow delivering for us again. So look forward to everybody making money off Mitch Keller again. You got another one for the people?
I do, and it's on the opposite side of that same game because you know what the Pirates are also really good at doing? Striking out hardcore. And Severino is good at striking people out. There are a couple instances where he's had 10 strikeouts in a game. Generally he's up 7, 8, or 10 strikeouts. And he's been absolutely excellent. What did I just say? Excellent is what I meant to say. Today we get a line of over 6.5 at -105. I just about pulled my earbuds right out of my computer. Yeah, so over 6.5 strikeouts. So we need 7, 8, or 9, or 10, whatever. At least getting 7 though, and he's done that repeatedly over and over. And so I would not be scared of the line if it seems slightly high to you. It's not really overrated just because it's the Yankees. It's because he's actually cashed that multiple times, and the Pirates are one of the highest strikeout rates for the entire season. They're just pretty terrible in that category. So it's great all the way around and worth your money.
I agree. Pirates strike out a ton. That's another guy that maybe you're getting it kind of low because I know he didn't cash his last start, but before that, he had a couple double digits. He had one where it was 9 strikeouts. He's going to motor through that Pirates lineup, and he's going to get a long leash because they're going to have a nice lead. So look forward to that one cashing for you. I'm going to switch it over to the Angels versus Marlins game. How about Trevor Rogers? They are the Miami Marlins. How about to go over 14.5 outs? Over 14.5 outs. We need him to go the full 5 innings at -141. Where are we going to go ahead and target in this game? Something we've targeted before with Bubik. Remember, we targeted that bad Angels offense versus left-handed pitching. We sit here several weeks later, and their hitting versus left-handers has not improved. 27th in batting average at 191, 21st in slugging, so not bringing any power. You think of Ohtani, you think of a Mike Trout. 21st in slugging is not great in power. And what they do a lot is strike out, and they strike out still. They're the most strikeout team versus left-handed pitching at 32.2%. Rogers is coming off a good outing where he went 5 innings pitched and only gave up 1 run, 2 hits versus a Nationals team that hits left-handers well. I've got no problem fading a Nationals offense versus left-handers, which we've been successful at. Let's see if it can work again with him going over 14.5 outs at -141. All right, there's several dogs. Well, I guess there's a lot of dogs on the board. Which one do you think can get a cash for the people in the 4th inning that we call long shots?
Well, here is, once again, the best value play on the board. And I've been making a few value plays that have been, and here's one of the best things about handicapping. And I gotta get it you to agree with this, because isn't it one of the best feelings when you handicap a game and you think it's going to go a certain way and it goes exactly that way, and that you get that feeling of like, man, I called that shit. You know what I
Right. It's a
mean?
good feeling.
It absolutely is. And I did that on a long shot the other day. Do you remember the Cubs went into the 10th inning with whoever the hell they were playing? But they were a plus 130. And this was just a couple days ago anyway. They were plus 130, and I thought it was a coin flip game. So I was getting a 50-50 coin flip at plus 130. To me, that's excellent. There we are, tied 2-2. I think it was the Milwaukee Brewers, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. And they almost got the win against Hader. I'm pretty sure he came in. Goes into the 10th inning. You're sitting there with literally a coin flip at plus 130. I was happy with it, even though I lost. Today, I think you're getting a very nice 50-50 matchup in the Cardinals on the money line at a plus 150, or potentially even drop to a plus 145 now. And the thing about that line is it is coming down, which, there's 70 some percent of the money on the Cardinals, actually, with only 40% of the tickets. So somewhat of a public fade there as well, hidden inside of a 50-50 matchup. You have Miles McCullough and I'm blanking. Can you help me out on who's in?
Fried.
Yeah, Max Fried. There you are. So really, again, the Braves, great team. Max Fried, great pitcher. But I think the Cardinals have enough to bring it. And you had even added the fact that they crush left-handers, which is something that you might not want to go against. I'm just saying, for what's really closely regarded to more of a 50-50 game for plus 150, you should be flipping that coin as many times as you possibly can, whether you're getting a win or a loss here today. That is your best value on the board for me.
Yeah, you may not, to your point, I mean, you may not win today, but if they play 10 times, you're going to win 5 at least. I mean, that is truly a coin flip. Nice bullpen edge right now with the Cardinals up over the Braves. You said starter maybe a wash, but boy, nice play right there, because the coin flip shouldn't be plus 145, and I'm in agreement with you. That is truly a coin flip game. I think one that's not a coin flip game, but they're obviously still a dog, and I think they're going to go ahead and get a win for everybody. The Diamondbacks are taking on the Giants. I like the Diamondbacks today at plus 110. Diamondbacks have much better hitting right now versus right-handed pitching, just top of the charts right now versus right-handers. I'm going to get into that a touch later in my best bet in terms of breaking down the full stats, but they're better right now versus right-handers. The Giants are 27th at batting average. You've kind of said it a lot, Squirrel. Like, we're waiting for last season's Giants to surface, and they're just not. They're not hitting anywhere close to what they were. Again, they're 27th at batting average, right back towards the bottom. The Diamondbacks bullpen is outperforming this Giants bullpen significantly better right now. Starters are Cobb versus Kelly. I think Kelly's got the better numbers. I'm going to go ahead and take the Diamondbacks today at plus 110. I think they're a low dog, obviously, at plus 110. But I think they're one that's going to come through. Just too many advantages over the Giants team, and a Giants team that is still living off last season's perception and what they were able to do. Nah, not going to work for them today up against these Diamondbacks. So I'll take them today at plus 110. Fifth inning, we call it keep swinging. We got to give these guys some hitting props. What's a guy today you're going to target with the bat in his hand?
Well, let me ask you one thing, because there's 2 guys on the team that I'm taking a look at. One is a right-handed batter, one's a left-handed batter. So generally in baseball, for somebody who would be new, does it matter that it would be a righty versus righty matchup or righty versus lefty matchup? And is one generally better than the other, in your opinion, or from what you've seen?
As long as it's righty on lefty or lefty on righty, I don't really care.
Okay, so you would try to avoid more of a righty on righty or lefty, like same-handed. Okay, yeah, sure. So in that case, then Jackie Bradley Jr. may be a guy to take a look at against Corey Kluber, but a lot of these Red Sox have seen him quite a bit. They've had a decent amount of plate appearances against Corey Kluber, and a guy that's been around as well. So somebody a little bit more well-known. And the Red Sox, I kind of had a little bit of interest in, which is a little bit unusual for me, since they have an MLB debut pitcher coming out, which is something I don't normally like to bet on, but his AA and AAA numbers look pretty excellent, and the fact that they're a favorite kind of tells me something. But for this section, I will go ahead and say Jackie Bradley Jr. And It's going to be a minus 155 because the total bases and the hits are the same at over 0.5. So I guess just to get a hit will be a minus 150 with that left-handed versus right-handed pitching.
I can get behind that. That's a former Gamecock. I was a Gamecock. I went to the University of South Carolina where Jackie Bradley went. So let's have Jackie Bradley come through for the people there. I'm going to target another one that I think people will like here, Freddie Freeman, obviously the Los Angeles Dodgers, over 1.5 total bases at minus 105, just crushed Urena. All this guy does is throw fastballs, but he throws them right down the middle of the plate, and Freeman has absolutely crushed this guy. 30 for 31, and he brings a whole lot of power to the plate against Urena. 4 doubles, 1 triple, and 4 home runs. It's a shame it's not Dinger Tuesday, because this guy's going to hit a dinger off of my man Urena, just bringing tons of power to play. So over 1.5 total bases at minus 105 today for Freddie Freeman. I think that's your best guy today on the board to get you guys a hit and get you guys some money. All right, 6th inning, it's a steal. Did you have a steal today, Squirrel?
Not gonna lie to you, I didn't. I didn't actually get to that one. No, I have all my innings except for the steal. So go ahead and maybe in the next 20 seconds I'll have some.
All right. Well, hey, I got 3, so don't even worry about digging it up. I got 3 Nerfies today. We're all gonna cash these Nerfies together in the afternoon. The first one I've already made a live event for. It's Guardians and Tigers. So come hang out with me at 12 p.m. Central Time. Get that one at minus 107. Beaver's on the mound. I would love doing them when Beaver starts because it's almost like you get a free half inning. Guys, it's been outstanding. 15 starts, 1 run, 18 Ks. I could say those stats every 5 days. They're just so delicious. What about Pineda on the mound for the Tigers? 6 starts, 0 runs, 5 hits, 1 Ks. I know the name Pineda scares people, but fact is he's been good in the first inning. And also the fact is the Guardians right now are 26th in hitting right-handers. So let's just hope that he can come out in that first inning, be clean again, and get us a good Nerfy cash. The teams overall are 18th and 27th in terms of runs scored in the first inning. So that's my first Nerfy of the day. It's Guardians and Tigers at minus 107. After that one's done cashing, stay on my YouTube channel and hang out with me for Cubs and Brewers at minus 108. We get another guy on the mound that feels like you get a free half inning there in Corbin Burns. 6 starts, 2 runs, 19 Ks. Sampson's on the mound there for the Cubs. 2 starts, 3 runs, 1 home runs. I know those aren't good numbers when we're talking to Nerfy. He gave up runs, though, to the Red Sox and Cardinals. I know, that's scary. The Brewers right now can be scary. They're good offense versus right-handers. As I mentioned, they're 14th in runs in the first inning. But I think Corbin Burns and Sampson will both get it done for us. So we'll cash that one at minus 108. And at the same time, we're hanging out watching Cubs-Brewers. We'll be keeping an eye, though, on Twins and White Sox. So I'm going to go ahead and back that one, too, at minus 104. Ryan's on the mound there for the Twins, 12 starts, 4 runs, 13 Ks. Lance Lynn's on the mound there for the White Sox, 4 starts, 2 runs. Both of those runs came in his season debut, so obviously he's been able to knock off that rust, so I'll go back to trusting Lance Lynn. Twins are really good in the first inning. There is no denying that. They're 3rd best in the Major League. White Sox are 26th in the major leagues. I'm going to lean on Lance Lynn that, he came out season debut, obviously a little rough, and he's gotten it right. Lance Lynn was just outstanding last season. So those are my 3 Nerfies. It's Guardians, Tigers, Cubs, Brewers, and Twins, White Sox. And 2 of those 3 I'll stream right here on this YouTube channel starting at 12 p.m. Central Time. So come hang out with me, and we'll cash some Nerfies together like we did last week. All right, give these guys your best bet then, Squirrel. 7th inning coming to a stretch.
It's all the way back at the top of the game, top of the board, top of the show, 2nd inning. It's going to be the Toronto Blue Jays and that Oakland Athletics over 8. And the best line that I've found now, actually, if you got this right now, minus 110 on DraftKings is what I found.
That's going to cash. I love that. That's your best
Dude,
bet.
I mean, Barrios going over 12-3. Caprillion, I think it was 7-2 or 7-3, something like that. Both have a 5 ERA or better, 6 ERA, something like that. Toronto, number 2 offense. They're absolutely. I mean, go over 8 and you'll take.
Go over 8 and you live with the result. I'm trying to look up the exact thing. Remember, I shared last week that Barrios had the 4th worst ERA through the first 5 innings. That's why. I mean, I like the F5 or the team total, but yeah, I mean, the guy's just absolutely atrocious. So Caprillion and Barrios are 25-3 in cashing the over this season in their games. 25-3. Woo! Love that play today. Have you taken that over?
Take it.
My best bet today is going right back to that Giants Diamondbacks. I mentioned that Diamondbacks offense. I'm going to go ahead and back them from their F5 team total over 1.5 runs at minus 120. Kind of teased it that they were good right now versus right-handers. Should have said they were like really, really good. Second in batting average, third in on-base percentage, second in slugging, second on base plus slugging, first in K percentage. They are not striking out right now, and third in drawing walks. Alex Cobb is on the mound there for the Giants. Average numbers of 4.59 ERA, a 1.37 WHIP, a 272 opponent's batting average. You're going to bring that 272 opponent's batting average to the team that's second best right now in hitting right-handers? Ooh, I'm just going to sit back and collect the money. He faced these Diamondbacks in 2021. 3 innings pitched, 5 runs, 7 Ks, or 7 hits. Sorry, 7 hits. He's going to get hurt right now against a Diamondbacks team that is surging. They're winning games. They're scoring runs. They're hitting the ball. Love the Diamondbacks F5 team total over 1.5 runs at minus 120. 8th inning, we call it double play. We got to give these guys our favorite parlay today. What was your favorite parlay today?
We have the same exact one. So do you want me to give it away, or
I mean,
it's the only. It's the only one that. Why would you not make it? Seriously, it's a great one. And one that I'm not a parlay maker. I don't play them. I'm not a parlay player. But this is one I would seriously entertain putting actual money on. It's going to be Severino and the Yankees to absolutely annihilate the Pirates. We'll take a money line, combine that with the safety of the Houston Astros money line there against a terrible Brad Keller. If you put both of those together, I got plus 105. Did you get anything better than that?
Nice. No, I'm giving it out at minus 101.
Oh, okay. Cool. So around even. We'll call it around even odds, though. 100 to win 100. That's not too bad on two games that should have no problem. Should have. There's no guarantee, but hey, it's pretty damn likely. I would have to think in those 2 games.
2 games that have massive starting pitching advantage. Obviously, Severino over Kelly and Javier up over Keller. And 2 games that have massive bullpen advantages. Yankees remain one of the best bullpens in the league. Astros aren't too far behind them. They've got a substantial advantage up over the Royals right now in bullpen. Royals have one of the worst bullpens all season long. So huge starting advantages, as you said, huge bullpen advantages. Offenses, I know the Yankees are scuffling, but I think they're getting it right against Mitch Keller. Offense-wise, actually, right-handers for the Royals and Astros is about dead even, but the Astros have really good numbers off Keller. So, yeah, I'm with you. That's a no-brainer parlay. Let's just hope the people get the right result because it was a no-brainer parlay. I think one that's got to be played. High juice. Don't worry about run lines. I think just stick to 2 money line parlays. I think that'll be really good. All right, let's go ahead and give these guys our official bets, and then let's run through the rapid fire. We'll talk about all these games. A couple of them I haven't talked about, which I'm excited to talk about. Why don't you run through a couple of your overs first?
Yeah, the one that's going to be the absolute best, in my opinion, is going to be the fading the starting pitching, especially, but just the pitching. Anything coming out of Toronto pitching wise has not been good for bullpens. Yesterday, you saw Kikuchi could not pull it together at all, and even the guy that came in after him, dude with the glasses or whatever, it was bad. The mound was bad yesterday for the Toronto Blue Jays. The numbers haven't been good for them either. And you put MLB batters in front of any subpar pitching, especially guys like Barrios and Caprillion. It's been absolutely going over. I would expect nothing less there today. Best line is now actually minus 110, not 114. And the Rangers versus Orioles, once again, yesterday, went flying over with some terrible pitching. You get a couple other guys today in not Spencer Hart, Glenn Otto and Spencer Watkins, and that will take place at Camden Yards again. Need 10 runs to get that one done, and root for some overs there today.
Rooting for runs. That's something everybody can get behind. Love those 2 plays right there. I'm going to go ahead and roll out the 3 pitching props that I mentioned. Sampson under 15.5 out, Rogers over 14.5 out, and Mitch Keller over 2.5 earned runs allowed. The Nationals F5 team total over 1.5 runs at plus 125. If we get the regression that we think we can get, boy, we're getting a great number over 1.5 and plus 125. Love that. Diamondbacks F5 team total over 1.5 at minus 120. I also like that Diamondbacks money line today at plus 110. Yankees and Astros money line parlay at minus 101. And then starting at 12 p.m. Central Time. Come hang out with me. We'll sweat out this Guardians versus Tigers NRFI. We'll roll that into Cubs and Brewers, and we'll keep an eye there on Twins and White Sox. We'll look to have a little NRFI day on this great Wednesday. Look forward to hanging out with you guys. Had way too much fun last week. I'm not forcing it. I think I gave the justification. I think we've got 3 good spots. So come hang out with me. With that being said, let me go jump on to BetUS. Let me pull up the live lines. We'll talk about all these games from a run line, money line, and over-under perspective. So with that being said, right here on BetUS, to kick it off, it's Guardians and Tigers with an over-under of 7.5. Guardians at minus 165, Tigers at plus 145. I would take that Guardians run line with Beaver on the mound at plus 105.
100%. Yep. I don't really feel a reason to play a total, and I'm not trying to be sharp and take the Tigers or anything. So, yeah.
Ricky going on with that A's run line in the chat. They had
yeah,
I
saw
number.
That. I don't know.
Blue Jays' number. They've been burning people's cash all week. I like that. Ricky's tired. I like it. All right, Cubs and Brewers over under of 7.5. We got the Cubs at plus 215, Brewers at minus 255. I'm telling you, just Brewers run line, and yeah, they're pretty no-brainer.
Yep.
Pretty no-brainer right there. All right, Twins and White Sox, another afternoon game here with an over-under of 8.5. Twins minus 105, White Sox minus 115. I'm going to lean the under here of under 8.5 runs.
I'm going to try to take a spot on my Twins here. They're in your town. They're in your town. We're going to take you down.
This is in Chicago, yeah.
I do like Joe Ryan, although I know as a bettor, you always have certain players that will tend to screw you when you bet on them. This has been a guy for me in Joe Ryan, but I don't feel like there's a lot of trust to be had in Lance Lynn. I think that's the right guy. I don't think his numbers are great off the top of my head, are they?
He's good last season. I think he's off to a nice start, other than a little hiccup there in an opener.
Okay, well, I'll take Joe Ryan, and
let's just get no run in those first innings of all 3 of those games and keep everybody happy. And let's cash over 8.5 in Blue Jays versus Athletics. That's the next game with the Blue Jays at minus 190. Athletics are plus 160. All these Blue Jays bettors are just chasing losses, I think, at this point. The Blue Jays should win with Caprillion. Sure, Barrios has got terrible numbers. I'm with you. It's an easy overplay, and who cares who wins the game?
Yeah, take the over 8 or 8.5 or whatever. I would expect that to fly.
All right, Mets and Reds are up next with an over-under of 10. Mets minus 170, Reds plus 145. This could be a nice spot if Ashcraft does, I think, what you believe he can when covering that strikeout prop. You could see the Reds at plus 145 also cash it. The bullpen obviously makes you nervous with the Reds, but I'll go ahead and back it on 145.
Yeah, without a doubt. What do you think about, if you dove into it, do you like to back Ashcraft in the first 5? I'm curious what the line would be. It is only plus 115 for the Reds in the first 5. Wow.
Two-way line, right? Not the spread? Two-way?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, that Reds bullpen is atrocious. If you want to play it safe, sure, do the F5 line with the option of
that shows you what the book's thinking, the likelihood of the Reds coming out to a strong start and really kind of the general delivery from Ashcraft. So,
all right, Angels and Marlins are up next with an over-under of 7. Angels minus 155, Marlins plus 135. I'm going to say Rogers can do what he do in getting us a cash on our outs prop, and they're going to hold that together at plus 135. So I'll go ahead and do Marlins at plus 135.
I will too, because I'm pretty sure I just saw the Angels at minus 165 when we started the show, and now I'm finding them at minus 155, so they're moving the wrong way, I would think.
Yankees are moving the wrong way. They've now dipped under 200. They're now minus 195 over on BetUS. Pirates are plus 165. Over-under of 8.5. I don't care. I'm taking that Yankees run line. Don't care.
Yeah, or just use them as a parlay piece like we did.
Yeah. Nationals and Phillies are up next with an over-under of 8. Nationals plus 190. Phillies minus 225 on BetUS.
So I have a system on the Phillies, but it only cashes the run line like 48% of the time. So I don't like it for the juice. I mean, minus 110. Not that it's a lot of juice to pay. It's just um, it doesn't really, the numbers don't fit. I mean, I think the Phillies win, so there's that. But you'd be taking a risk on the run line. I guess I would take the run line so I don't have to pay minus 225. But if there's something to be done with the total, I'd probably try that before paying exorbitant rates for the Phillies.
I mean, Gray's terrible. Nola's good. That Phillies bullpen is really stinking bad. The F5 money line is obviously not in your favor with Nola on the mound.
Can we honestly just make a legit pass on the game? Because I don't think I would touch it any which way.
I mean, I still obviously like my team total. I think I think Nationals are due to hit Nola like they did last year. But
okay.
Yeah, that
in terms of winning the game, I will say I would like the Phillies to win the game, but that's about it.
Right. I agree with you there. Okay, Rangers and Orioles over under of 9.5. Both of them are at minus 110. I love it. When both teams are minus 110, why am I trying to pick a winner? I'm taking your over 9.5 all day.
Without a doubt, yeah.
All day.
Pitching's terrible.
You said it earlier. Why are the Red Sox throwing a rookie in their favor? What do the sportsbooks know that this guy did in the minor leagues? They're minus 125 on BetUS against the Rays. They're at plus 105. Corey Kluber on the mound. Over under of 9. I don't know this Red Sox starter. We'll have to find out about today. So
I don't either, but it's
if they think they can win at minus 125, Kluber's decent enough. I'll take under 9 because I obviously think these are going to quiet the Rays if they're favored.
Yeah, I just like how many times the Red Sox batters have seen Kluber, and if this Brian Bello guy is really that good and the books are comfortable putting him as a favorite, I would take it at a minus 120. And it's not something I normally do. You should know this. MLB debut pitchers, NHL debut goalies, not something I'm a fan of backing. So something about that line feels like the Red Sox.
Time to find out. He had a AAA ERA of 2.4 according to the Woodworkers. So we'll see how he fares against major league hitters. Step up in class.
Yeah, obviously. And that was over 51 innings actually. So not a totally small sample size either.
Love it. Cardinals and Braves are up next with an over/under of 9. Cardinals plus 145. Braves minus 170. I'm just jumping on the coin flip at plus 145 with you.
It's the best value play on the board, yes, sir.
Royals and Astros. Woo, Astros have jumped up to minus 280. Wow, that's really soaring up. I'm telling you, the Astros have had Keller's number. Javier's looked good. Over/under of 8. I say the Astros are a good parlay piece as we've used them. If you want to do it alone, obviously the run line.
Yep, pretty obvious play.
Giants and Diamondbacks down to minus or plus 105 on BetUS, so seem like might be on the right side there. We got an over/under of 8.5. You probably see, the Giants who are just not the Giants from last season. I'm taking the money line and I'm taking the under.
Money line being the Diamondbacks.
Oh yeah.
I would rather take the under than I just personally I don't feel comfortable on it. Like I'm glad that you have all this reasoning for it, and I hope it cashes. I just don't want to play it. I would take the under.
It's been a while since I've actually bet one of my underdogs. That's how big advantages they have from a starter, bullpen, and offensive advantages. Love the Diamondbacks today against the Giants. And then the last game is Rockies versus Dodgers with an over/under of 9. You get a plus 265 Rockies going up a minus 320 Dodgers. White versus Urena. Boy, Urena's just going to get hard. He's going to throw fastballs right down the middle of the plate, and they're just going to crush them. I would take even the run line's minus 165. They this may be a team total. I know we don't talk about that in rapid fire, but it's a lot of juice for a money line and run line. Maybe just a team total. What about you? What are you thinking there with Rockies and Dodgers?
I don't know, man. How often do you see minus 320? What the hell is going on? Did you say total over?
It's a 9. I said the Dodgers team total. I went out and said the Dodgers team total. Instead of
is
an over/under of 9.
I
I
don't know.
mean, it's probably going to go over. I mean, I don't know who Mitch
Is he
White is. I
Mitch
mean, he's had
White?
a
He's a
handful of
righty.
starts.
Dude, I don't know. Oh, it's another game. I just, dude, it's like, can we just pass on some of these? Because I just like, I honestly think some of the answers are just, this is unbettable. You know, if you're going to, probably an over. I don't know.
All right, good stuff. That's the show today. Another day of great comments today. And like I said, we'll be hanging out on this YouTube channel at 12 p.m. Central Time. We'll kick off the Guardians and Tigers. We'll sweat 6 House of Glories together. Get on over there. Look forward to hanging out with you guys. We've had a lot of fun last week. Let's do that again today. Yeah, so that's it. Go enjoy your Wednesday. We'll catch up with you guys a little bit later on. Have a good one.
See you later.